Hello folks, welcome to the rabbit hole. Once you fall in, there's no turning back. Farmers' protests are not limited to any specific country but across several countries they are currently voicing their concerns, highlighting various issues impacting their livelihoods. Here's a detailed look at some of the major protests happening in Europe, India, and beyond. Europe. We have seen protests from countries like France, Germany, Poland, Belgium, Spain, Netherlands, Italy. Demands. Fairer prices for agricultural products. Farmers argue that current market dynamics leave them with insufficient profits, struggling to cover production costs and sustain their lives. Reduced regulations. Some farmers oppose stricter environmental regulations, claiming they increase costs and limit production capacity. Support for struggling sectors. Concerns vary across countries, but some farmers demand aid for specific sectors like dairy or livestock farming. Protest duration. These protests vary in duration, with some ongoing for months and others happening sporadically. Government actions. Governments are taking different approaches. Negotiations. Several countries, like France and Germany, are engaging in talks with farmers' unions to find solutions. Financial support. Some governments have offered temporary financial aid to alleviate immediate concerns. Limited concessions. Some have made minor adjustments to regulations or offered specific subsidies for certain sectors. Impacts to the locals. Traffic disruptions. Blockades and demonstrations by farmers often lead to road closures and traffic jams, impacting daily commutes and business operations in affected areas. This can disrupt supply chains, deliveries, and access to essential goods and services. Economic losses. Protests can deter tourists and customers from visiting local businesses, leading to lost revenue for restaurants, shops, and other establishments in areas near protest sites. Public safety concerns. While most protests are peaceful, there have been instances of violence and property damage, leading to concerns for public safety and anxiety within local communities. Division and polarization. The protests can sometimes exacerbate existing tensions between farmers and other sectors of society, creating divisions within communities. India. Demands. Repeal of 3 farm laws. These laws, passed in 2020, aimed to reform the agricultural sector but were met with strong opposition from farmers, who feared they would weaken their bargaining power and lead to corporate exploitation. Guaranteed Minimum Support Price, MSP. Farmers demand a legal guarantee for MSP, a minimum price at which the government would buy their produce, ensuring fair compensation. Debt relief. Many farmers are burdened by debt and seek government assistance to alleviate their financial struggles. Protest duration. The protests began in November 2020 and continued for over a year before the government repealed the farm laws in December 2021. However, some farmers are still protesting, demanding other promised reforms and debt relief. Government actions. Repealed the farm laws. This was a major concession but hasn't addressed all concerns. Offered some debt relief measures. These measures are considered insufficient by many farmers. Talks are ongoing. The government continues to negotiate with farmer unions on remaining demands. Impacts to the locals. Livelihood disruptions. The prolonged protests, particularly the road blockades, disrupted the movement of agricultural goods, impacting both farmers who couldn't sell their produce and consumers facing shortages and price hikes. Essential services affected. The protests hindered the movement of essential goods like milk and vegetables, leading to shortages and price fluctuations in local markets, impacting daily life for many residents. Economic hardship. The disruptions caused by the protests affected local businesses and transportation services, leading to job losses and economic hardship for many individuals and families. Social unrest. The prolonged protests and the government's response created tensions and occasional violence, disrupting the social fabric of some communities. Other countries. Thailand. Farmers are protesting low crop prices and demanding government intervention. Similar to India, road blockades disrupted the movement of goods, leading to shortages and price fluctuations in local markets. Some protests turned violent, raising concerns about public safety. Brazil. Protests address concerns about rising fuel and fertilizer costs. Protests led to fuel shortages in some regions, impacting transportation and daily life for residents. Additionally, the rising costs of fuel and fertilizer affected local farmers' livelihoods. Peru. The demands for better infrastructure and support for agricultural development directly impact local communities, with inadequate infrastructure hindering access to markets and resources, while limited support hinders agricultural productivity and income generation. Commonalities and differences. While the specific demands and contexts vary, several commonalities exist. Economic concerns. Farmers globally face challenges related to low prices, rising costs, and debt. Market dynamics. Concerns exist about fair competition and the role of corporations in agriculture. Government support. Farmers seek government intervention to address their economic struggles and ensure fair treatment. However, there are also significant differences in specific demands, protest strategies, and government responses. Addressing the impacts. Open dialogue and negotiation. Engaging in constructive dialogue between farmers, government officials, and local communities is crucial to finding solutions that address the concerns of all stakeholders. Targeted support. Providing targeted assistance to local businesses and individuals affected by the protests can help mitigate economic hardship and disruptions. Infrastructure development. Investing in infrastructure improvements can facilitate smooth movement of goods and services, benefiting both farmers and local communities. Sustainable solutions. Focusing on long-term solutions like fair market practices, sustainable agricultural practices, and social safety nets can create a more stable and equitable environment for all. Conclusion. Farmer protests across the globe highlight the complex challenges facing agricultural communities. While governments are taking various actions, achieving sustainable solutions requires addressing the underlying economic issues, ensuring fair market practices, and providing adequate support for farmers. The future of these protests and their impact on agricultural policies remain to be seen, but they serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of ensuring a sustainable and just food system for all. I hope this detailed overview provides a comprehensive understanding of the current farmer protests happening around the world. Feel free to ask if you have any further questions about specific countries or aspects of the protests. This video took time and effort to create. Your like, share, subscribe helps me keep making more like it. Help me reach 5,000 of subscribers so I can unlock awesome new content. Thanks.